Guys, I am sorry. Sorry I was late on this. Actually, no, it's not an apology video again like the last time. But anyways, this isn't an apology video. I wanted to literally say I'm making another video. And I'm doing it right now. So this is going to be my 193rd video. So this is going to be a video about what's the one dude, Dr. Disrespect. And he said he's making his apology video, and honestly, he's probably not gonna actually admit to it, like when EDP made his one apology video, and then he literally was like, guys, I'm really sorry for my actions, and then he literally was going to was busy grooming a 13-year-old.
Press any button.
I'm pretty sure every single person literally
Continue.
lying, saying they're doing their fake apology. It's obviously fake, same as with the Shadical one. All these things are all fake anyways. It's honestly all fake. People just shouldn't believe in it. I know there's some people that probably believe in that Dr. Disrespect thing, which is bad. They shouldn't, because he's probably gonna still do it again, man. I'm not lying. He probably will still do it again and again and again. All that type of shit. And he's gonna be like, yeah, man, I'm gonna do this and for my whole entire life, because he's lame. He's a lame fucking dude. Nobody gives a shit about him. And there's already a video. I'll use this video as an example. Also, I can't watch the full video, but I'm gonna... Hold up. Just
burnt my apple pie, and I did it at a speed.
No, not this. That wasn't the video I was gonna show you. So,
This is Project 2020.
so I made this.
Do you even know what the legal definition of sexting is? Did any of you consider that the Twitch user may have been over the legal age of consent at the time of the messages?
Well guys, we're somehow back. We are once again talking about the insanity that has been Dr. Disrespect's return to the internet, and I'm glad to report that somehow it has only gotten worse. Didn't really think that was possible. If you've been living under a rock for the last couple of months, or if you have a life outside of the internet like a normal person, you may have no idea what I'm talking about. Over the last few months, Dr. Disrespect, one of the world's most famous streamers, has been outed for being banned off of Twitch in 2020 for allegedly sexting a minor on the platform. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's kind of the gist of the situation. If you want the full rundown, I'll link a video in the top right corner, but for the purposes of this video, you'll probably do just fine knowing nothing more than Dr. Disrespect was allegedly getting kind of freaky with somebody that he probably shouldn't have been. Now, as you can imagine, once this came out, people were upset for like maybe 45 minutes. After that, it quickly became an internet civil war split up by the issue on whether or not you think it's a cool thing for a 40-year-old man to talk to a minor while he's married with 2 children. Seems like a pretty easy choice there, but clearly it's not for a lot of people, and that's how we've gotten to where we are today. Dr. Disrespect has returned to the internet in full force, and the other day he went live and he gave what he's claiming to be his side of the story, and it's pretty bad, guys. We're going to be watching today a sort of compilation of the highlights from that stream that I got from Jake Lucky on Twitter, so there might be some missing information here. I'm not claiming that everything we're going to see today is everything that was mentioned about this situation on stream, but I'm sorry, it's a 6-hour-long live stream, and most people seem to agree that this video covers just about everything that was said that was notable, so it's good enough for me. So let's not waste any more time. Let's begin. Please subscribe.
Are you nervous to be back? After what's transpired over the last couple months, am I excited to be back to this type of world?
He should have
Okay,
just
so
gotten
this is
terminated.
something that the Doctor is going to do a lot during this. He has this really, like, oh, I'm so above this kind of attitude, I feel like, where he's treating this situation in a way that I don't really think he has the right to. For some context, if you're one of the people who doesn't really know about the situation, I think the, quote, type of world that this guy is referring to here is the type of world that didn't accept him with open arms after he admitted on Twitter in his own words that he was talking to a minor while he's married and has kids. If that's the type of world you're not excited to be back in, a world where a man is held accountable for his own actions and is not supported for doing stupid shit, I think that says a lot about you as a person.
For almost 4 years, champs, the public demanded to hear from the doc regarding the Twitch suspension. I guess since you all missed the point with my personal statement.
The personal statement where you admitted to having inappropriate conversations with a minor? That one? I don't really know what point there is to miss. He's going to go on to claim that this was like a 4D chess move where he was just trying to trick journalists. Yeah, dude, you really owned the journalist by admitting to having conversations with a teenager. You got him.
Maybe it's time to tell my
You're
side
not
of the
even a
story.
real doctor.
Champs? You see, there was a lawsuit pending, and as part of that arbitration, all parties were not allowed to speak publicly about the case. I respected those rules. My lawsuit against Twitch was eventually resolved, as you all know. But even then, as part of the settlement, all parties were
You're
still
pure
prohibited
evil.
from speaking publicly about the case or the settlement. However, if one side violated that confidentiality, then the other side could respond. And again, champs, I respected all the confidential obligations.
Okay, so while this is probably true, this kind of stuff is pretty common in lawsuits. Sort of like a mutually assured destruction kind of deal. If you start talking, I'll start talking. So this is probably true, but honestly, I find it kind of funny that he's acting like he's the one who was taking the high road here. Like he was the good person in this. Look,
Yeah,
champs,
no, you
I
weren't
chose
the
not
good
to
guy.
break the confidentiality agreement that would require me telling the world that I was talking to a minor. I'm a fucking hero, champs. Like, okay, dude, nobody would fucking break this confidentiality agreement in your shoes. That does not make you a good person.
Did you not know
Exactly.
the repercussions from spewing lies about the two-time? Did you not know the repercussions of accusing me, Cody Connors? You didn't have any first-hand knowledge of my dispute with Twitch. You said that I got banned from Twitch because I was sexting a minor through Whisper's messages? Do you even know what the legal definition of sexting is?
Okie dokie, so
You're
I know it's
fucking
kind of a
stupid,
meme,
Dr.
but when you have to say shit like this, not a good look, Doctor. Look, it's pretty obvious that when this went in front of
Yeah,
a judge,
good
whatever
thing
the
that's not
doctor
my
did,
doctor.
whatever he said, was deemed not bad enough to get him sent
He's
to jail.
Dr.
However, what he just
Disgusting.
said implies
Well,
something
if you're
that
taking your
really
kids
doesn't
to
make
the
this
doctor,
situation
don't
look
take
too good. Maybe
your
I'm reading too deep into
Like,
it, but
if
when you
you're
whip
taking
out,
your
do you
kids to
even
the
know the
doctor,
legal definition of
don't
what
go to
sexting
that
is?
doctor's
It really
office.
makes
This
me
guy's
think that
doctor
whatever
office.
you
Don't
were
go to
saying
it.
to this individual
Don't!
required the definition
Okay,
of
yeah.
sexting to be scrutinized in your lawsuit. Again, I touched on this when we
Don't go
first
to
talked
that
about all
doctor's
this.
office.
Most conversations that you
If
have with
he's
a
there.
person that are not leaning towards something would not require the legal definition of sexting to be brought up and compared to whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? Now look, don't get me wrong, this
Agreed.
could be a case of his lawyers being like,
agreed.
look at the definition
What-
of sexting
what
and
is
then
his
look
name?
at what they were
August the
saying.
doc-
It's clear there was nothing going on here. Sure, that could be why he brings this up, but something that he's going to say in a moment makes me think that's not the
Why the
case.
fuck
I
is he
did.
going on boy
And
in
yeah,
a
I
band?
used...
Bro, why is he like boy in a band, bro? He really just wanted to be like boy in a band. That's really what he wanted to do, which is just fucking upsetting. He really wanted to be like EDP, bro. They would probably be friends. He was like, "Oh, hey boy in a band. Can I copy your homework?" Oh, absolutely. That's what he was literally doing.
Twitch is whispers,
Sure.
but trust me, I wasn't sexting anyone.
That sounds
You
like
also
a lie,
said
bro.
the word minor, Cody. I even made sure that word was emphasized in my statement, edited, etc., just to make sure these so-called journalists would pick up on it. And boy, oh boy, did they ever, champs.
Okay, so this is what I was talking about earlier. This idea that Dr. Disrespect was just fucking with the media when he said he was talking to a minor and edited the word minor in and out of his statements. Really, dude? You expect me to believe that you told the entire world you were a predator as a joke, as a gotcha to the media? I mean, are you serious? If you believe this, I don't know what to tell you.
When you and all these so-called journalists, Cody, fired off your tweets, did any of you consider that the Twitch user may have been over the legal age of consent at the time of the messages?
Alright, so not trying to pause this every 5 seconds, but this is what I was referring to when I said that there's something that makes me think this was not just his lawyers bringing up sexting to prove a point. If you weren't sexting a person, if you weren't doing anything inappropriate or sexual, why does the age of consent matter here, Doctor? Why is that relevant? It's not illegal to have a normal conversation with somebody under the age of consent. Like, that's not a
reminds me of
Why
the
does
Cody
this
Ko
matter?
situation.
I mean, come on, dude. You're telling on yourself.
If these former trust and safety team members, and by the way, I know exactly who they are, actually had first-hand knowledge, then what they conveniently left out is, 1, Twitch's trust and safety team, the same employees that decided to ban me, internally admitted that the whisper messages were not sexting. And 2, Twitch's trust and safety team, the same employees that decided to ban me, internally acknowledged that the whispers did not constitute child sexual abuse material ceasing.
You are
Neither
lying,
I
Dr.
nor the Twitch user exchanged any sexual graphic messages or images. Cody Connors and these other anonymous sources are trying to paint a picture that I was exchanging sexually explicit messages and photos with this Twitch user. That never happened. I even used the word
and I can't believe I have to make a part 2 of this Dr. Disrespect video.
And look at how it's defined by everyone, champs. Huh? Including these defaming articles.
I was almost gonna
I'm sorry, but mutual bantering with inappropriate jokes taken out of context should have never led to me getting banned from Twitch in the first place.
I don't want to make another
so
video
I know that was
on
a long
you, but
section there, but I wanted to let that
and
play
also,
out.
sorry I was late on this.
I said that the first time, but I don't know why to say this again. I don't know why I'm saying this again, but you know what? Whatever. The general agreed upon legal definition of
Don't ask why I said that, by the way.
CSAM are image and video based. Sure, he acknowledges that no sexually explicit messages were sent, but he doesn't say anything about what was found by other people in that regard. From what I am hearing, what's actually coming out of his mouth, he is saying that the people who investigated this did not find anything that could be constituted as sexting or CSAM. Nothing about text messages, though. Again, I'm not trying to imply that Dr. Disrespect did anything illegal here. The justice system exists for a reason. If he was tried and nothing that was illegal by the book was found, that's the end of it. But that does not mean people can't judge you morally and have their own beliefs. The way that he's trying to defend all this, it really seems like the situation was that there were inappropriate messages shared,
yeah,
but at the end of the day, nothing was illegal, so that was the end of it. You are not exempt from being judged just because the things you did were not illegal. They still sound pretty fucking immoral from where I'm standing. So the next segment here is pretty long-winded, so I'm gonna try and summarize it for you. If you think I'm leaving anything out, feel free to fact-check me, go watch the video or the stream. So he begins by addressing why these two were talking in the first place, and he chalks it up to nothing more than him just engaging with the community, talking to other streamers, talking to people about video games, stuff like that. And he says that's it, that's the only reason. He was just engaging with the community around him. He then goes on to state that his ex-Twitch partner manager found out that Dr. Disrespect was exchanging these whispers with this individual. He says that the partner manager obviously had a grudge against him. He would never support him in any way. He would never try and get him on the front page. He wouldn't inform him of Twitch events going on. He didn't follow him on any social media, which, I mean, to be fair, if you are the partner manager of somebody as big as Dr. Disrespect, not doing anything like that is very suspicious. It is strange that you would not do that when Dr. Disrespect was one of the faces of the platform.
This is credited by August the Duck, by the way.
But he continues saying that after they asked for a new partner manager, a few months later that ex-Twitch partner manager reached out to the individual Dr. Disrespect was messaging and encouraged them to file a report about the messages. He states that the individual told the partner manager multiple times that they have no desire to file any sort of reports, and that the partner manager kept at it, and eventually a report was filed. And then he mentions something interesting, and as of right now, I do not know how to confirm this, but if this is true, this genuinely changes my opinion on this situation. He says that Twitch's special operations team receives this report and finds nothing wrong with what they reviewed, and they do not escalate it to Twitch's law enforcement response team. Now, like I said, I have no way to know whether or not this is true. I haven't been able to find anything involving the lawsuits, but if this is true, I really do think that this might change everything. But we'll get to that more in a minute. minutes. He says that once the partner manager learned that there was going to be no further action taken, he personally escalated this to a friend that he has on the law enforcement response team. The friend then pulled the entirety of the history of the whisper messages, quote, cherry-picked some of the excerpts, and then sent them to the director of the law enforcement response team. Now, while this was happening, the director of the team was supposedly on vacation, and Dr. Disrespect implies that during the lawsuit they learned that he had no access to a work computer or any of his work files, and he says that within an hour of these messages being sent, the director and the friend of the ex-Twitch partner manager made the decision to suspend Dr. Disrespect. After this, he says that Twitch submitted a report to the NCMEC, which is the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and as far as he knows...
Yeah, so this is going to be the end of the video. Sorry this was a little bit too long. Have a good day, and see you later, guys. And goodbye.